Was out there last night, felt great. It's a great setup, and a lot of people have been working really hard. I live downtown here. The lights are on all night, so they've been working really, really hard, and everywhere you go in town, everywhere you go, the people are talking about this. So it's pretty exciting, and looking forward to it. Be interesting to see how practice goes tonight. I think that's my biggest anticipation is how will we play out there, because I walked out there. I actually had to go measure the court because I thought they messed it up. It was too small, because out there it just looks smaller than when it's in Devaney. So, but I walked it off. It was accurate. But anyway, here we go.
Can you believe this is happening?
It's still really, like last night I started feeling like, okay, this is really going to happen. But to see that place packed there's no way to prepare for it. And then all the hype, the tunnel walk. I mean, there's a lot going on. This is going to be a great challenge for our players to stay focused on playing volleyball.
How meaningful is it for you that it's not just, a celebration of this current team, but a celebration of, all of the teams that have come before?
Yeah, I was just talking to a really good friend of mine this morning who brought up that, this is, if you think about where women's sports started and then what's going to happen tomorrow night, I mean, this is a celebration for all that and for all the, all the women that first started getting a chance to play sports, but there's a lot of women that never got a chance. And to see this happen, and again, I keep flashing back to when the soccer team played in the Rose Bowl, the USA soccer team, and I can still vividly remember that whole scene, the whole match. I think it was Brandy, the celebration, and that was a big moment for women's sports, and it really shot soccer up, and this is another great chance for that to happen and for the sport of volleyball.
What element that's different from indoor do you think will impact the play the most?
I think the two biggest things will be depth perception. So it's you have sky, and we're used to having a ceiling. Even if we're in CHI or somewhere, you still have a ceiling. There's no ceiling, so that'll be the first thing. But we play beach, so they can acclimate to that. And then the other thing will be the wind. And the wind forecast sounds really good, but there'll be some little swirls and stuff in there, and just kind of being mindful of that. But other than that, the other thing is that, the benches are off the stage, so everything's pretty far away because they made that stage really big just to make sure nobody could run off of it and fly out there. So there's a court area, and then once you leave that, there's another, I don't know how many, 20, 30 feet of stage, but the play's dead once you leave the Terraflex. So if somebody's like Laney Choby's really flying out there, she has room to slow down before she would go off the stage. And so they made that stage, I think, bigger than what they originally planned.
Is anybody going to be on that platform, coach, or the benches? The benches are going to be below?
I don't know. We're going to figure it out today in practice because you're right. The bench will be down below the stage. So we'll have to figure out. It's pretty far away. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll figure it out today.
Yeah, what are your kind of goals going into that practice to get them ready for tomorrow?
Just get used to it. We're going to do a practice tunnel walk. We're just going to try to front load them on everything that's going to happen, and then and get used to playing outside. And like I said, the depth perception. That's going to be really different for them.
We talked a lot about the potential of rain, and now that is not possible, the next thing though is humidity and what that could do for the court. How are you feeling about that heading into?
We tested it last week when it was 105 and the humidity was whatever it was, and the court did great. So it's no worries there, and no worries with rain. And the only other thing I was worried about was smoke, because I think we're under a health warning or something. So hopefully that doesn't factor in. But
Is core communication a concern tomorrow night with so many people, and who's one Husker you won't have to worry about being loud on the court tomorrow night?
Well, Laney will be one, and Lindsey Krause's very vocal, and Merritt. So we got our talkers out there those guys will make sure. But you're right, it could be, yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, I know in Devaney, I need to get on our fans. On Devaney Sunday, it was Matt Coatney made a great line. He says, "I feel like I'm watching a golf tournament. We're putting on the 18th of the Masters." It was so quiet in there. So our fans need to step it up. That's one of the reasons Sunday was such a weird match.
This is still a regular season match, part of the grind of going for a Big Ten title, going deep in the postseason too. I mean, what do you hope the players take from this event that they can carry forward to have better outcomes later this season?
I don't know how that'll apply because this is so different than what we normally do. But one thing is for our younger players, it's going to be. I mean, I said it feels like the Super Bowl is going on here, to me, and that's what it's going to feel like to them, or a Final Four, maybe even on Final Four, like even times 4. So just being a part of a big event and all that goes with it and everything going on, I think that's what it's going to prepare them for, is next time this happens or we get to a Final Four, they're going to be used to the show that goes on besides the volleyball match and all the attention and everything that goes with it.
How will you guide your players with this tomorrow, John, in terms of trying to soak it all in and understanding what they're a part of, but then also trying to win a volleyball match too?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to own each moment. You know, just how are we gonna? Because it's all new to me too. You know, I haven't been through this, so just trying to take advantage of it. Make sure we kind of prep them on as much as we can that we know, and there's going to be some stuff that we can't. But I can tell you this: I did have this thought yesterday when I was down. You were out there filming, and I'm like, this is as close as I'm going to be being the head football coach in Nebraska playing down here. This is going to be awesome. You know, this is what it's going to feel like for Coach Rule in a couple of weeks. So that was actually like flowing through me. Like this is what it's going to feel like to be a football coach.
Do you have anything on your kind of to-do list tomorrow? Make sure you kind of have that full experience and take advantage of the moment?
No, I haven't thought that far yet.
Trent's kind of talked about in the past about how he wants to use this building for more than football. I mean, depending how everything goes tomorrow night, would you want to do this again, or you have to maybe have an answer tomorrow night?
That'd be something to think about down the road. I'm not sure this is something you do every year, but it's a great idea, and it could be a great example for other things that could happen. Maybe it's basketball, maybe softball plays down there, maybe soccer, maybe more concerts. So I don't know. Maybe we have a PBR rodeo in here. That'd be awesome.
John, you talked about this being a celebration of players that have come before, but how meaningful just for you to have some of your former women here supporting being a part of this great event?
Yeah, there's going to be former alumni here that I've never met. And, you know, the problem has been we can't bring them all back like this. So this is the first opportunity for this ever to happen because we're always sold out, so we don't have seats. And I think there's close to 100 are coming back. So what a great opportunity for all of them. And I've been reading and hearing their excitement for this. And, you know, 100 alumni, that's a lot for volleyball. I mean, I'd be curious how many total alumni there are total. You know, it's going to be a big chunk of those alumni are going to be back here. And we're doing it right. I mean, they're having a big thing tonight, and they're going to introduce them tomorrow. I mean, this is going to be really special for them.
Just what does it say just about how this program has transformed, you know, going from playing in Maple League to now playing in Memorial Stadium program?
Yeah, that's what they pay you guys to do. Put that in perspective. I was here in '88 when we were in the Coliseum, and we had a couple of really good crowds. So that's when we saw the potential that potentially could happen. But you're right, there will be women here that played in Maple League, and They tore the Maple Leaf gym out because they redid that. But sometimes we would just take our team over there and train periodically just to say, hey, this is what it used to be like. It's this little cracker box. It's super loud in there. They love training over there. But we would do that to remind them of this is where it all started. And so there'll be some reminders of you guys. It hasn't always been like what you're used to. They weren't getting NIL deals back then.
There's about 40 buses of, teams coming for this. How important is it to you to set an example for them?
Well, they're coming because they want to be a part of this, and they want to be a part of Nebraska volleyball. And a lot of them, they can't get into our regular matches. So hopefully we're going to inspire some future Olympians and future Huskers and young girls that want to be volleyball players, because I know that a lot will be there tonight. And so the main thing is just to inspire them and really to dream big. I wish Jordan could be here. This would be really special for her, but they're playing, getting ready for the Olympic qualifier.
Coach, what does this say about the profitability of women's athletics and as well as, maybe the popularity of volleyball growing?
I think Amy did a great article today. I think we're setting the example of what can be done. And, I made that vow in 2001 when I was told, you guys would be nothing if you weren't paid, football wasn't paying for your way. And here we are. And so it's pretty gratifying, but I don't look at it as like, oh yeah, I proved that wrong. I look at more of we're showing an example of what can be done. And women's programs and need to start thinking about how they can do this too. So I'm just very proud that it's at Nebraska, and we have the support and administration here that would take this risk, because it was a big risk. And we had a President Carter, he said, hey, we're going to sell this thing out, and he's right. I want to see him go do that at Ohio State now. By the way, I love the guy, Slapshot. I call him Slapshot. That was his flying name, Top Gun.
Any more questions for Coach? What was a big risk about doing this?
Just that it wouldn't go, and we would, it'd be a small crowd and weather. It was a huge risk. How could we set up a stage? How could we do that? And we originally talked about it. We was like, we just put the Terraflex on the field. Well, there's a 9-inch hump in the middle of the field. You can't play volleyball, going sideways or downhill. So there's a lot that's gone into this, and guys could do whole stories on just the preparation that went in. I was down last night talking to the guys that are setting this up, and they're also doing Zach Bryan over in PBA. That's what they do. I can't remember their name, but the challenges of doing this, and there's a lot of people and a lot of work that goes into this. It's not just throw out a volleyball court and let's go play. So it's a lot of things had to get done right for this to happen.
What if there was rain? What would have happened?
I don't know. There was a committee to figure that out, but we would try to dry the floor as much as we could and to play in it, or wait, rain delay like baseball. Worst case, if it was lightning or something, then they had a plan. We'd go just move it to Devaney and give free beer to everybody else. All right, see you guys later. Thanks.